started out with just a basic guard pass entry that's going to turn into this leg lock flow that Kyle Chambers posted recently. I really like it. It's kind of fun. I don't know that I would necessarily do it like this live, but it's pretty fun, and it starts to get you to understand the importance of controlling the knees and using the knees to turn your opponent from hip to hip, right? So he's in this seated butterfly. I'm coming in and I'm pulling the rug out, right? We're getting here. Now all I'm going to do is stomp on the inside of his knee. As I do, I obviously let go of that heel and I push the other one across, and we land right into our leg drag position, right? So this is all we're going to do from the start. Just get some reps of this, just to kind of get things going, right? Just right into our leg drag, right? Right, just working back and forth. Cool? What's up? Hey. So let's play with that to get warmed up, and then we're going to add to it. Let's hit it. 3, 2, 1. On your back. Right, so I've come in. Let's turn this way. I've stomped. I get to this leg drag. All right, so from here, I'm going to turn to face his feet. Now, I'm going to grab onto this leg with both hands, and my foot is coming to the back of his knee here. So that as I roll, this turns his hips away, and I come over into the foreleg. All right? So, again, this whole flow is designed to start understanding that I use his knees to turn his hips, right? So we're here. I make this turn. I catch. As I roll, my foot goes to his knee. I push him away, coming over, and we're in the 411 with the heel finish, right? I know this one's weird. It is. Here, grab, roll, finish. Right? Let's try it. 3, 2, 1. So the very first part.
Yeah, look up here. What are you trying to grab? Just above and below the
knee and ankle. Yeah, that's always where I want to try to control for my leg stuff, right? You know, I want to control the knee so I can turn the foot the direction I want to attack the heel, and control the ankle when I go. All right. Cool. Let's hit it. 3, 2, 1. So now, we use the Kyle Chambers, stomping the knee. Now we're going to use the Alan Sanchez, where we're going to use our shin to stomp the knee to put us right into the DMs, and we're going to do a little hip switch, and then we're going to come right back into the leg drag. Right? So instead, we're going here, and instead of stomping with my foot this time, I'm coming in and I'm driving with my shin. And that turns his knee all the way across, which sets me up perfectly with this hip switch pass right back into the leg drag. All right, and then now it's the same finish. Right? Here, I'm stepping in, shooting that across, right? And now, anytime his knee comes all the way, I have this hip switch pass. If his knee is up, I can't do that pass. And that's why when we're here, that's why I'm stomping that to get his knee to turn. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, can I see the pass again?
Yep.
That's when you switch your hips?
Yep. So we're here. So I push this foot down, stomp this here. If I can, I want to pin this wrist. If not, I want my hand under his elbow to control this inside space here. When I go to hip switch, I can do it a couple different ways. I can come under his leg, or I can come over his leg. Either one is fine, but when I come through, this kicks out and then replaces for the leg drag, right? So it's just, makes sense, right? I can also come over the top and go that way. Either one is fine. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. back in school doing math, like we're showing our work, right? Sometimes you can skip ahead and not show your work and go from A to Z instead of having to do all the steps in between. And it makes the roll easier, but it makes capturing the knee and the stomp a little trickier. So you've got to be good with your dexterity of being able to place your feet where you want them to go, right? So just see the butterfly for me. So we're gonna go over a real basic pass just because I still see people do this wrong. So we're just gonna do a knee cut. He's getting this shield in. And we're gonna go a heavy knee slice. So when I get here, this hand's either wedging his hip or it's up on top, whichever version you prefer. I'm really long in my arms, so I like to be here and be tighter so that I have this pinch on his leg, right? So I wanna pin this wrist and control this. This leg is out wide for base. It is not in here, all right? I'm out here. And now when I go to do this, I'm sliding my knee towards my ankle as I lean on his leg, pushing his leg to the mat, all right? This stays wedged so he can't shrimp away, because if he could shrimp away, if I don't have, now I'm in trouble, right? This has to stay wedged. So we're here. I scoot past it, and then I start backing my hips up to turn him away. Once I'm here, I can get my head control. And then now I'm gonna keep turning him away. And now I'm right back into our leg drag. All right? So now I can start playing back into this situation. And we're here. So right now, I've been placing my foot before I go. And I know this is kind of awkward, right? I could also just roll and find it in the roll. Does that make sense? So, we go to knee cut, wedge, pin, heavy knee slice. Come around, back my hips up, come under the head, turn his hips away, back to my leg drag. All right? If I get this far, I'm probably not gonna abandon and go to this. So this is more like if he brings that right arm over and starts framing my face away, if you're making this kind of play, now I can make this turn again, right? Grab his leg, I roll. As I roll, I find his knee. And we're right back in. Does that make sense? Let's try it. 3, 2, 1. Today was all about using the knee to turn the hips, right? So we either stomped the inside of the knee to turn him, we used our shin on the inside of the knee, we used our foot as we do that roll through to turn the hips away, right? Even on this heavy knee slice, right? I'm using the knee to turn his hips, right? And then I'm gonna use the knee to turn his hips. Does that make sense? So, so it's all about using knees to turn hips. We could be in Z guard, and if I can make my way under, I can use his knee to turn his hips. Right? Go turtle. His knee is the pathway to the hip. Does that make sense? If I move the knee, the hip has to follow. Right? So for the upper body, it's the elbow controls the shoulder. It's the same principle, right? So, so you can think of it that way. And you can start playing with these options of, like if I'm trying to expose the back, and I want him to turn away from me. Well, how can I use, pressure into his knee to turn him away, create this opportunity where I can start attacking the back? Does that make sense? So when you're rolling and drilling and doing these things, start kind of playing with that concept of using, their knees to turn their hips away from you, right? So, and we're seeing, both with the Kyle Chambers and the Alan Sanchez pass, these are two really high level competitive black belts in the 10th Planet system who are both passing the guard using the knee to turn the hips, right? There's a reason why they're doing that. So it works at the very highest levels for a reason, so start kind of thinking of it. I always say, like, the moves are great and you want to learn the moves because you need to understand a bunch of different moves for the concepts to make sense. But if you understand the concepts behind the moves, then you'll start getting to the point where you'll start doing things that you haven't even been taught yet. And you'll do something like, oh, well, that was really cool. And then someone will go, oh yeah, that's the da-da-da-da. And you'll be like, oh, okay, cool. You know, right? It's, you know, but there's no way to memorize all the moves in jiu-jitsu. But if you understand the concepts, you know, then you can do moves that you didn't even know were moves. You know, and you can make things happen. So again, like just as you're live rolling, as you're position battling, as you're drilling, as you're doing any of these things, start kind of playing with that concept of using the knees to turn the hips, right? And start playing with that. And you'll start noticing how you can control people a lot better. Cool? Any last minute questions? All right, let's get a picture.